not a game.
Back to my channel. So, based off of the title, you already know what we're going to be talking about today. So, if you see me looking up, that's because I have my information written up on the wall. And I'll show you what I mean, because I have it in nice pretty colors. Okay, that was weird. Anyways, I have my information up on the wall. So if you see me looking up, that's why I'm looking up. And I also have my computer right here too. So I'm gonna turn it around so you can see what I mean. So this is what we're gonna be talking about today. The difference between, well, not necessarily difference, but why some people don't need to choose an LLC versus a sole proprietor. So for my business, I do a sole proprietor only because I don't own anything. A LLC covers stuff that covers things that you own. I don't own my house. This is a townhouse that I'm renting. I don't own my vehicles yet. And the only thing I own is my life. So with that being said, I chose to go sole proprietorship. So the definition of going into or doing a sole proprietorship is, I'll turn it around. And sole proprietorship is the very definition of going to business for yourself. You are the business and the business is you. And there's nobody else. So with that, there's also owner liability. You are personally liable for the debts of the business, even if those debts that exceed your investment in all your assets. Both those used in the business and personal property can be sold to pay business debts. Now, with that being said, be smart as to how you run your business. Personally, I don't ever want to do a loan. I don't even like banks like that. I choose not to use banks. I do my stuff bankless. So, like, for example, my business bank account is a Lily bank account. It's online only bank account. So I choose not to do anything that would put me in debt, only because I want to be smart about this from the get-go. So with that being said, I'm putting myself at a lower risk of being in debt with somebody else. So, yeah, that's pretty much that right there. Now, your seller's permit. I can only speak for what we do in Minnesota. I can't speak for any other states, although I have heard and watched different videos that it is free in other states. It is free to get your seller's permit in Minnesota. It's hard to do online for whatever reason, because my personal experience, when I looked into registering my business, it told me I needed a tax ID. And when I wanted to get a tax ID, then it told me I needed a EIN or a FEIN. And I'm like, okay, is that the same thing as a regular EIN? Which it is. So I'm like, well, I already have my EIN. So do I still need to get a seller's permit? And there was no information on that. So I just called. And with the call, it was very easy. The lady walked me through it. She helped me. They ask you all these different questions about your business. They ask you all these different questions, like, what are you selling? You know, and then for me, she looked up, okay, do you have to pay taxes on sports bras? Because technically it's, depending on the state or how you do a sports bra, it could be an accessory and not an actual garment. So she had to look that up, and she also gave me the link to look at the list of what is taxable and what is not taxable. Now, I do fitness apparel, so all the garments are not taxable. So technically for those, I would not need, good God, I would not need a seller's permit. But when it comes to the masks and the hats and resistant bands or sweat belts, I need a seller's permit because those collect. So pretty much you need a seller's permit for items that collect tax or collect tax or that you would sell that would charge tax. So in the state of Minnesota, clothes, you don't do sales tax on clothes. So for my masks and my hats, those would be taxed, and that would be what the government would look at. Now, when it comes to the breakdown, here I go looking up at the thing because I have it written down. When it comes to the breakdown of when you pay or file for your taxes, because as soon as you file for a seller's permit or get your tax ID number, you have to pay. The government is now looking at you as like, okay, you're a legit business. So if you are making $1,500 a month or less, then you pay annually. So these are for the items that you charge tax on, the taxable items. If you make $7,200 a month or less, then you would apply. You would file for your taxes and pay your taxes quarterly. So that would be every 3 months, depending on when you start. Also, when you call, ask them, when is the first payment due? Write it down, put it on your calendar, put it on the wall, whatever it is you need to do, because the IRS is not going to play about their money and they're not going to play about you. So if you're making $7,200 a month or more, then you pay monthly. Then when it comes to depending on where you sell, because like I said, in the state of Minnesota, there is no sales tax on garments. So if I live in, I'm not gonna say what city I live in. I live close by the Mall of America. Let's just say that. I live close by the Mall of America. And sales tax here is 7% on masks and hats and whatever. So if I was to do a pop-up shop in another city way on the other side of town, which I am in September, make sure you guys check that out. Come support your girl, y'all, September 25th and the 26th. See how I plug that in real quick? Anywho, so when I go there, I have to personally figure out what the sales tax is going to be in that city, only because it's different from city to city. And then I have to charge that sales tax, because that's where, depending on where you do your pop-up shops. Excuse me, if you're selling on an online platform like Instagram or Facebook, then too, you would have to, you know what, I would ask them, only because she did ask me if I was selling on Instagram and Facebook, and I said no, so I don't really have information on that, and I don't want to give you guys any wrong information either. So I would say, you know, when you call, ask as many questions, because they are there to help you. So like I was saying, when you are getting, depending on what you do in each city is going to determine the taxes that you charge and that you pay. So when I go to that city, then I have to charge those cities taxes. Also too, if you really should figure out if you need a seller's permit, only because if you get caught without a seller's permit, you will be in huge trouble, and you could be shut down, which will probably be the worst thing. Well, maybe not, maybe a fine. Either way, they're both bad. I mean, I wouldn't want to pay money if I don't have to pay money, but I don't want to be shut down either. So take care of business now from the get-go. Even if you have an idea as to what you're going to sell, or you know exactly what you're going to sell, find out if you need a seller's permit first, depending on city and state that you're in. So look into that, do your homework, do your research. Also go to yourstate.gov. So let me show you. It'll be like, mine's is Minnesota, so MN. So mn.gov or whatever your state is. And then you should be able to click on a link that says for business. So that way, then you can know starting business before you start organizing your business, naming your business. It has a breakdown of so many different things, business plans. Look, guys, even with the business plans, it gives you a copy, which I downloaded. So even though I downloaded it, I'll still leave a link of this in the description down below. So there's like so many free resources that you can use. Like, don't take the lazy way out, because if you take the lazy way out, I guarantee you, you're not going to enjoy your business. With that being said, guys, take care. Oh, hold up. I like that lighting. Oh, hallelujah. Hey, how you doing? Hey, yes, girl. Anyways, so with that being said, take care of your business first. Do whatever you need to do for your permits or licensing, whatever it is that you have to do for whatever state you're in. Do it. Do it as soon as you can. And don't get in trouble. Don't get shut down. Don't get fined. Don't do anything that's going to hinder your business from where you need to be. So take care of business, y'all. Love you. Be blessed.